As a small child, during the day, Stoop Kid would often go out with his father to see football games, buy groceries, and do other such things that normal boys do with their loving fathers. However, at night, his father would go out, and by the time he returned by early morning, he'd be a demon, smelling sickly sweet, screaming and yelling and beating anything that moved, constantly mentioning the worthlessness of his wife and son. In the mornings, the father would see what he had done and would apologize without end, crying at the sight of what he had done and promising to make it up with bribes of affection. On one fateful day, the father took his son to a football game, a sport he had loved. "Son," he said to the little Stoop Kid, "football is the sort of thing that really shows the strength of a man. These men position, struggle, clash, all in the name of victory. To me, the football is the greatest sign of victory. Its shape is the most endearing thing I know." Stoop Kid looked up lovingly at his father and listened as his father talked passionately about the game as they both sat there and ate hot dogs. That night, his father returned far worse than ever. Arm bruised and eyes swollen, the boy heard his father scream at his sobbing mother that he would leave and never come back. Despite the pain that Stoop Kid knew he would receive for even trying to stop his enraged, inebriated father, he ran to the door, some part deep inside to lose that caring father figure of the day to that dark demon that drew its power from somewhere outside the house. Stopping just outside the door of his house, Stoop Kid shouted pleadingly, begging his father to stay. The father, moved with sorrow, turned to him and brokenly said, "I'm not worth your love. The world's broken me down, made me hateful, and I can't go on farther hurting you. Stay with your mother, make her happy. If I can, I'll come back to you once I've made peace with the world, or made it peaceful. Wait for me on that stoop, and don't let yourself be fooled by stepping into the world. It only wants to break you." So Stoop Kid waited. He waited, not knowing that his father was found later that morning in an alley, alone, dead from suffocation on his own bile, laying in a pile of excrement and filth. He waited, not knowing that his mother had refused to tell him because she couldn't bear to tell her son that he had no father, even with the monster his father had been. He waited, for fear of the darkness outside, and the world that had sucked his father into the void and corrupted his family. He waited, and became bitter and cold, and allowed no one and nothing to touch him, so as not to be corrupted himself. He waited, until one day, onto his stoop, fell a football. As he watched in astonishment, a second football walked up to him, and it opened its mouth, and it talked about the first football, the one that had landed on the stoop. The rest, as they say, is history.
Stoop Kid, freight loose, stoop.